roles according to the environment, according to the needs, so do the microbes. I'm not dressed now the way I was dressed when I was 6 months old. I'm not dressed now the way I was dressed when I was 5 years of age. So this adaptation process is all through nature and absolutely in the microbes. Let me give you an illustration. We've got two cousins, or two brothers I should say. Healthy Harry, sick Steve. Healthy Harry is a surfer, he's a landscaper, he exercises, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. And then we've got sick Steve. He's the brother. He thinks Healthy Harry is so boring. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Healthy Harry doesn't like drinking water, it's so boring. He just drinks coffee. He's a smoker. What's happening in the lungs with the smoke? Damage. Who's going to come and clean up the damage? Here they are. What does the smoker cough up? Oh, very interesting colours, yellow, green. You see, in response to this, then our immune system, the white blood cells come along. Cousin Colin visits, and he's got a bad cold. Have you seen what happens when someone sneezes? All these little droplets come out. They come all over Cousin Colin because they shake hands. Sorry, mate. You like it when people sneeze all over you and then say sorry? And these little microbes, which are active in a cold, they jump on sick Steve and they say, feast! What's the feast? The damage done in the back of the tongue, in the throat, the trachea, the lungs. Because that cigarette smoke is a toxic poison doing constant damage to those little fine membranes. Feast! So by the end of the day, how does sick Steve feel? Sick. He says this is what we say in Australia, that rotten cousin of mine has given me his wog, given me his bug. Do you say that? Got a bug from Cousin Colin. He goes to his favourite doctor. He took him a while to find this doctor. Not every doctor is like this. But he loves this doctor because the doctor never asks uncomfortable questions like, are you still smoking? Are you drinking water? He says, hi, Steve, when will it be this time? And he's got his pen and his pad. He listens to the chest. Oh, there's a party going on in there. Take this, what's it called? Take this antibiotic and it will make you well. Yeah? Oh, how Steve loves this doctor. What does antibiotic mean? It means against life. And anything that has the ability to kill a small organism has the potential to kill the large, and that's what we are. Let's look at Healthy Harry. He comes in the room, so we're going back to Cousin Colin's first visit, shakes his hand, jumps on Healthy Harry. Do you know there's nothing to do? Because there's no cell damage. And so Healthy Harry doesn't even get a sniffle. Have you noticed when the cold roast goes around? Some do, some don't. But let's say that Healthy Harry's just been on a surfing trip to Hawaii, in the plane a lot, breathing in not great fumes, couldn't get as good a food as usual, lack of sleep. Oh, lack of sleep can certainly contribute to disease. So there's a little bit of damage there. You see, we've got these wonderful things in our throat called tonsils. And do you know that they are part of your lymphatic system and they throw waste into your throat, so when you cough up those bits and pieces, praise God, it's your lymphatic system sweeping the waste away. Trust your body, it's an amazing organism, and if you cough up lumps, rejoice. So there's a little bit of a sore throat comes to Healthy Harry by the end of the day. So he calls the SWAT team in. What's the SWAT team? Goes to the gym, does a steam sauna, dives in the cool pool, back in the steam sauna. We'll look at water therapies later in the week. Decides not to have tea, or you call it supper, that night. Mixes himself a flu bomb. We'll look at the flu bomb. Ginger, garlic, eucalyptus oil, cayenne pepper, lemon honey. Throws that down. Goes to bed. Piles the blankets up. When he wakes up in the morning, he's wet with perspiration. He's very happy. He obviously had a bit of a fever in the night. Fantastic tool of God for healing is the fever. But he was well hydrated, so the brain was okay. Gets up, has a glass of water, goes to the bathroom, eliminates waste that way, comes back, gets dressed, has another glass of water, puts his joggers on, goes for a run up through the hills, breathing deeply, coughing up a few lumps here and there. Praise God for those tonsils, getting rid of that waste. Comes back, has a hot and cold shower, or has another glass of water when he gets back. Finishes his shower with cold, wonderful tonic effect. Has breakfast, feeling quite good now, has some fruit. Then he has his antibiotic sandwich, sourdough spelt toast, olive oil, whole crushed clove of garlic over the slice, avocado, tomatoes, very nice. I had a few of those when I had my cold. Goes to work. No one comes near him that day because he's got this barrier around him that's just about disinfecting everyone that comes near him. Let's look at sick Steve. He wakes up in the morning sick. You had a question?
Well, yeah, I don't know about Australia, but here they always take the tonsils out.
Yes, yeah. The question is, do they take the tonsils out in Australia? Oh, yes. I gave birth to 6, and also when I married my husband 25 years ago, he had 2, and all our children have their tonsils because God doesn't make a mistake in them, and the tonsils are not a mistake. You know what the tonsils are? Watchmen at the gate. And when they start screaming at you, what do? Cut them out? No, you haven't got a watchman at the gate. What you've got to find out is, why are they swollen? Why are they screaming at you? They're a wonderful organ that causes us to eliminate waste very easily straight out through our respiratory. Often when you have that little cough and cough up a little lump, it's from your tonsils. How did it come in? Well, so many ways. When I fly, I'm getting it. You know, if you're not eating all organic food, it's just in so many areas. So let's look at sick Steve now. Sick Steve is sick. He goes and gets his antibiotic, comes home, shuts all the windows, don't want to draft. Has some scotch, Jack Daniels. Oh, that seems to clear things a bit. Within a few days, he's feeling okay. The antibiotics, the antibiotics, they're like dropping an atomic bomb in the body. The good and the bad alike go. But he's got this terrible rash. He's got this jock itch. Because you know what an antibiotic is? It's a mould waste. How many people take an antibiotic and then get thrush? Alexander Fleming, 1929, he's growing bacteria in flasks in his laboratory, comes in one morning, all the bacteria are dead. So in Newton's third law of motion, to every action there's an equal and an opposite reaction. Why did his bacteria die? Nothing in the laboratory could have done it. He looked out the window and he saw up top there was an open window and the sun was coming in and there was a heavy dust and it was settling on his bacteria. He looked up in the window and there was a plate of fruit and there's a mouldy orange. So Alexander Fleming called the mould penicillium. Do you remember the story from school days? In fact, he got a Nobel Prize for his discovery. He called the mould waste penicillic acid, and the penicillic acid is the penicillin that we know today. Every mould has several mould wastes. And so this is why sick Steve had such a terrible case of jock itch. He couldn't sleep, it was all so itchy, so another couple of Jack Daniels knocked him out. Wake in the morning, he's just bleeding. He'd scratched so badly. So he goes to the doc and he says, "What are you back for, Steve?" He says, "Oh, the cold's better, but look." Ooh. So what he gives him is some, because he knows it's fungus. He knows. So he gives him some antifungal cream, cortisone cream to stop the itch. It just masks the problem. Cancer often has a fungal component. Fungal component. They were so excited about the discovery of penicillin that they tested hundreds of different mould wastes. So this is the mould waste, is the penicillic acid. 80% of them were so deadly they killed the rats.